Hi friends, do you feel anxious, nervous, fearful when you have to present to a certain set of audience, small or large? I'd like to share some of the tips I have implemented in my life to overcome, fear of presentations. I feel that anyone should not lose an opportunity to present their opinion or a seat at the table just because you're hesitant about speaking up, or not sure how would I present this if I'm really given that opportunity. I'm Sunitha, a working mother, and using this platform to share my learnings and thoughts. Going back to the story of my college days, that was the first time I had presented for a very large set of audience. Until then, I was a very shy person. So I never took on that opportunity or a challenge itself. But during my college days, I did take on that challenge, or rather it came to me because I just applied for a paper presentation competition, but I never thought I'd get selected because it was at an international level. So I was like, okay, at least I'll get a participatory certificate or something like that. But we were selected, so it was me and one of my friend. We got selected for this presentation, and we had to go and present. So that was the first time I was doing for a large audience, and also it was at an international level. uh, I don't know whether you can understand the nervousness that I had gone through. Uh, it was out of our state. We had to go to a different state, prepare and present. The excitement was there that you're doing something at that scale which you have never done in your life. Straightforward, not even presenting at college level, directly going to an international, national level kind of presentation. It was there, and I was like prepared my content very well, everything. But when I really had to present, I was the first speaker, I think so. I don't remember, was it me or my friend? We did like equally divided among ourselves that who's going to do which part of the session. But the first time that I had to speak, I literally blanked out for 5 minutes. Complete silence. The audience were looking because the so I was like pin drop silence. I was just there, no tears, no expression on my face, nothing. I completely blanked out. So then I had to get myself together, and then present it well, and nothing stopped me after that 5 minutes. So I was surprised. I surprised myself that somebody who was blanked out just few minutes back could do so well, and we had won, I think, the second place in that entire competition. That was my first encounter with fear of presenting and everything, and I think that was the last, because that experience had taught me a lot of lessons, which I was able to retrospect and pick up from there, and what really worked, and really improve on what I have learned over there, or the tip that I have used it in that presentation, use it lifelong and improvise on it to move to the next level. So I'd like to share those tips that I had implemented for that session on the spot. I didn't even learn it anywhere, it just happened over there, but it really worked. And later on, when I searched on that topic or something, it was resonating. So it was, I'd say I was lucky that I could do something that was something like that on the spot. It has helped me stick, those learnings stick, and also helped me throughout my career as well. So those 3 points are: first one, your content. you know Irrespective of everything, you should be good with your content, and know what you're going to speak about. And the tip that I have for myself to remember the content is a mind map. So you can Google what is mind map, you'll see what it is. So the mind map helps you to cover all the topics that you want to cover, while even if you miss out on a certain topic, you can go to the next. So you don't feel the syndrome of if you've not spoken about something, that you forget that particular point, and you don't get to move on. But the mind maps helps you to move on to the next topic. So that's the advantage of mind map. It keeps things simple. That's the way your brain understands. um, I think it's a list form, but really sticks to the core content, so that makes it more clarity to you, and even people listening to the content and topic get to see that while you're talking about it, because that's the way you perceive it in your mind, and the way you present it also would come out in that. So I'd say the way you prepare for your content, that's the number one. uh, Second point being, when you look at the audience, or when you look at the session that you are in, sometimes we have that context set in. Okay, I am going, like when I went on the stage that time, okay, I am presenting to an international audience. I don't know anybody. What are they thinking about me? All of them, it was a very good setup. So almost 200 people, I think, were there presenting to 200. What are you thinking about yourself? Are you gone mad? Can you really do this? Don't you think they know about this topic? So there were so many questions that were coming to my mind. I had to compose myself, and okay, breathe in, take a very deep breath, and I was like, talk to myself within those few minutes, saying that it doesn't matter. You prepared yourself. We can think about the context, the audience, feel happy about it, all of that later. First, deliver your content that you've prepared. We'll come back to this topic later. So I had to talk to myself like that. That I think helped me. So I'd recommend that as one of the tips, that don't get into that context of self-questioning. That 30 seconds, if you're able to stop yourself at that and focus on the content, get yourself back to the content, that here's what I want to present, where am I, how am I presenting, just focus on that. Don't think about the context that you are presenting, that okay, there are 20 people, there are 30 people, there are 200 people, there's my seniors in the presentation, or there's so and so in the audience. Don't think about the context, just think about the content and what you want to deliver, how are you going to deliver. So that, if you're able to catch yourself around that, it helps you to get back to the content you want to present and make it the best, because everything else you'll have time to think about it for your lifetime, that who are the audience and what are you presenting. The third point is, okay, I've not looked at the people in the audience, or I've not really let that set in, but what about Q&A? When Q&A comes, when you really have to focus at somebody and answer them, won't I be looking at it and I get into that question? Something that I have implemented, or do it as a tip for myself, is when somebody asks a Q&A, I focus only on that person. It's like a single one-on-one conversation we both are having. I keep it that way in my mind, self-talk myself to that. So that way the person asking also feels that authenticity, because you're not now putting it at a larger frame, but you are like focused only on that person. Your question, you're important, I'm listening to you, answering you. So keep the Q&A at a single person level. You're not even zoning out everybody and just focusing on that one person. So those were the 3 tips that I have implemented. Content, not focusing on the audience, the context of the audience. When I say not focusing on the audience, the context or the volume, the other talks that come in your mind from an audience perspective. Third, keep your Q&A at a one-on-one level. Just feel as if you're talking to that person directly. Those were the 3 tips, I'll say. Once you have experience with this, gone through this, then you can move on to the next level of allowing the context set in. You're able to see the audience, see the expressions, see who's getting engaged, which topic is engaging, which is the topic people are not interested in, boring. So I can move on to the next point. That is at a next level. Don't beat yourself up, or don't get into a situation that I want to get, this is the ultimate presentation I have to make, everything has to be perfect. First, understand that you have to yourself get perfect on it step by step. It's okay to do best at this point, at this level, and then once I'm comfortable with this, I move on to the next level of taking the context of the audience. Slowly. That also, I think I experimented with different sessions, because there are different styles of that also that I had to go through. Like if there were too many people I knew in the audience, I always used to go back and focus on them, which again I corrected myself over the period of time. So again, there is a learning curve in that second point of the audience, connecting context of the audience and stuff like that, which you can take on at a later point. First, get the first 3 right. Once you feel confident, it comes out in the way you present. So, get that, and then think of what is next. Okay, I've learned so much. What do I tweak around? Where am I doing wrong? If those 3 are first corrected, it brings a lot of clarity, and your presentation, it speaks volumes of your presentation, and you're able to take more opportunities where you can actually practice this even more. Because if you're still in the fear of not presenting, you're not even taking up those opportunities to try and learn. How do you tweak yourself? See what's working out for you. So the first step is making yourself confident to take those opportunities. So if you try to implement these 3 steps, I feel once you feel comfortable, you yourself will see that confidence in you asking for more engagements, where you can, practice this and see, you can see the response from the audience also post the session. Then post the session, you can take in the context of the audience and say that, wow, I had done this. Pat yourself that you have done it. You presented to such big crowd. This is how my content went. Here's the content mistake I have done. Here's what I've done in a Q&A session, which I suppose I got the fear at this point, so let me be sure I don't do this, or I handled such kind of a Q&A like this. So, do that retrospective, and as you build your confidence, you can go to that next level for yourself. But initially, for the first time, when you're doing it and you're really not sure how will I do it, I'd say focus on these 3. These are the bare minimum tips that you can implement, and easy. It's more of the self-talk and a little preparation around the content piece. If you're perfect on that, I think you'll never be the same again. I'll be happy to hear what are your learnings and tips that you implement for presentation, which each of us can learn through each other. Post them in the comment section, and I'll come back with more thoughts and learnings on different topics. Happy learning. Good day.